Welcome to Finding the Voices. Right now I am at Caesar Hospital and I am with Dr Jugindra Sorokhaibam, and I have come here to talk a little bit about the fundraising we have done for palliative care. So sir, what I wanted to do today was, I have been doing the fundraising for
Definitely. We
more
are
than
very
I think
grateful.
1 year.
We are very grateful for that, and it is a really wonderful job that you are doing.
Yeah, but I think that fundraising was one of the most challenging and difficult tasks for me, and I challenged myself because it's not only about
Yeah, it must
fundraising, it is also about the community giving back,
be. Exactly.
right?
Very true. And awareness, which you have done a
Right.
lot. Awareness that you have spread along with that work that you have done. So it is tremendous job. Yes.
So I have tried different techniques in trying to do the fundraising. Initially I thought, okay, let me do the greeting cards with flowers of our place, and it didn't quite kick off, right? I love painting. My painting is not the greatest and the
No, it's very
nicest.
beautiful. It is very beautiful. We know. I've seen it. Yeah.
So it did kick off when I started with the painting,
Right.
and we were very fortunate that we got 3 people
Right.
who
And we
offered.
met. I personally met Sonia from Australia, who had come. So that I have met her personally. The others I have not met personally, but we have met her personally, and she was very happy, and she was very impressed with your work as well as our work also on palliative care. And we went to her house also, and she was really very impressed with her, and she was happy that she could do something through you for palliative care. It was a really wonderful time, and it's really appreciable. Yes.
So, but I would like to acknowledge everyone who has contributed, because this is not only about contributing the fund, but it's also about setting example within our community in collaborating in the art of giving. So I would like to just read out all the names. We have actually 28 people who have contributed in this whole project. So we had 3 paintings, and the rest of them we did it through books and then the greeting cards of my painting.
Very nice.
So we have Muhammad O, Mark and Megan. They're my children.
Oh, wonderful.
So
very nice.
they did actually come up with their pocket money, because initially when I started selling the cards, I was not getting any response, and I was like, oh, I'm doing it, and they actually helped me pack all this.
Yes. Oh,
And I wanted
very
to
nice.
share this sample.
Yes.
So we printed it, we packed it, and that's how we shipped it. So, and then I tried it with some books, and that's when they came up and said, oh, Mama, can we contribute? And so that was a very nice moment.
Very sweet. Very sweet. of them. Very nice of them.
Then we have Sonia Y, Tamo Arun Kumar, Da Gojendro, Somesh, Susan, Monica, Suzanne, Sonia, Gracie, Haukamang, Tampa, Navneet, Nancy, Ratan Kumari, Tuleshwari, Samita, Hira, Nabakeshwar, Louis, Santi, Aditi, Vanessa, Charlene, Jamuna, and Sonia. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of these 28 members who believed in our cause and made this possible. So with the funds,
From my side also, thank you, and thanks to all of them. Very big thanks to all of them, and through you, because of your work, because of your this thing towards them, and your knowledge towards them, and you knowing them. So we are thankful to each and every one of them. Yes.
so my goal was 1,01,000 rupees.
Yes.
And I did achieve around 75,000, and the remaining Finding the
Wonderful,
Voices
wonderful. Very nice. Very nice. It's a big effort. Yes.
right, and the remaining Finding the Voices would add it up and complete the full 1,101 rupees. So I wanted to call Ima and give the remaining money over here. Ima na kutsam bira. Sige.
Thank you so much. This is so much touching and so wonderful. Thank you so much.
So with that,
Ojaga Monica gana tawbiri se anga pofangna kudi khangde karamaina gratitude utkadam no kari tawnu. So anga pofangna nuai Monica gana ojaga na tawbiri se yes.
Dagi aina mathang tarakpadana, like I wanted to share with you about my new project. So when I started painting, I didn't know where it was leading, and I think the response I got for the fundraising for palliative care was awesome, and I wanted to continue using my art for initiatives of Manipur, who are doing great jobs but haven't really got much exposure, or not many people have known. So that is one of my
about Manipur.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's really wonderful.
Yes, and so one of the project I'm working right now is 1001 Thagatchari, and the main goal for this project is for me to meet 1001 people and let them share about gratitude. And the reason why I'm inspired to do this project is because I feel that our community needs more positive vibes, and also identifying role models within
very
our
much,
community.
very much, yeah.
And also encouraging more words of gratitude rather than the critical comments we see in our day-to-day life.
True, very true.
So I have been doing this project for quite some time now, and we are now at close to 30 people, and we have got a very tremendous response.
Yes, I have seen that. I have seen many of the videos myself, and it's really wonderful, very nice.
So I
and
wanted
some
to
of them very touching also.
Yes.
And yes, and very inspiring. Most of them, almost all of them are very inspiring and very touching, and it's very nice. It's a very nice program. Yeah.
So I wanted to invite you to and share and nominate 3 people. So the way we do is the first person is nominate someone around your personal space. The second person is at the level of Manipur, and the third one is at the level of global. So
yeah, it's a little bit difficult for me because there are so many, and it's in a sense that there are so many nearby as well as around and in the world, but on the other way also it is not so many, because I would practice the teaching of Sadguru in one sense, because he says that he was telling the story, because I saw that video where he was telling a story. He was telling his daughter that she should not look up to anybody, and she should not look down at anybody, and look rightfully in the way that actually she the person or whatever the situation is, so that the real picture of the person or real nature of the person is seen, rather than being influenced, the influenced application or influenced understanding of that person is not there. The real thing that I was thinking that yes, it's a very good idea. So if we see in that perspective, then it is very difficult for me now. But definitely yes, there are many people who have inspired me and who have been very much instrumental. Yes, yes. We can discuss, definitely, no problem.
So are you going to nominate? I know that I think in my previous session of also someone said, oh, it's so difficult to nominate one person. I think the idea of our program is, it doesn't mean that when you nominate one person today in your personal space, that is the only person you are grateful to.
Then
it is just an
I know.
example.
I understood that. But yes, what I'm saying is, if I get an opportunity, I would have done it for many more people at the same time together. So that is the only thing, and probably it will remain as a regret that we have not been able to do that more often and more frequently and more appropriately. So that is the only thing. Yes. If you start with a personal level, definitely I would have to say my mother, very close by. My mother is because she is not educated in the sense that we understand education as doing classes in school and doing she is just class 2 when that she has finished. She has not studied beyond that, because that was the means and that was the situation that was available to her. It's not because that she did not want to study, or in those times when she was growing, that was the thing that was available. But just that she didn't get to study beyond class 2, but she's so well educated, and that is what I really appreciate, and am inspired by her, and I would like to pay my gratitude to her because of that. Because although we know that she had studied to class 2 only, but she could teach herself to read and write everything in at least in our language, Manipuri language. She could also teach herself to read and write in Hindi, which is and she was able to read Hindi books and Hindi novels, which is not an easy job for people in Manipur. She was doing that, and she can get through with some English also, and her judgments, her skills, and her knowledge of whatever she has learned, and how she has applied that in her practices, and how she has taken care of 3 of her children. We are 3 siblings, and so it's a great job. Yes, father was there, dad was there, he took care of us very nicely, but if you go to the details of everything as we grew up as children, it was my mother who bore the brunt of rearing us up and then making us all to what we are at present. So I really thank her for her courage. She tells us stories which are, sometimes bone chilling. She was married to my father, who has joined the army at the age of 18. He was around 18 or 19 probably when he joined the army, and quite soon he married, and then she followed him. He joined as a soldier and was posted all over the country, and she followed him in very many places. So the first few years were when she went with him, she stayed in Punjab, in Ambala, and those times they were staying in tents, army tents. And my father used to go away for his work and other things, and she used to stay back all alone. And how she learned the language, the Hindi language, and then how she managed her own things, how she was able to deal with people, and all those sometimes very bone chilling. And as we grew up, there were stories when we were very small. My father used to go away to another place for posting. I mean, my mother used to take care of all of us, and since we were 3 children, and my mother was there, so 4 of us used to be there, and she used to stay alone. This was a place called Kamti, and I was in some class 1 or 2, and it used to be extremely hot. This is in Maharashtra. Kamti is in Maharashtra near Nagpur. So in summer times like this, in March, April, May, it is so hot we cannot stay inside the house, and at that time there was nothing like AC or anything. Fan also was very quite rare. So nights used to be in the outside. So we used to carry this cots, that very light cot made of ropes, and the bed itself is made of rope, and so that used to be taken out of the house, and we used to sleep there. And my mother used to wear full army fatigue, in army dress, my father's army dress, and sleep with us. So as a child I was, and she used to keep one big dao like this, quite huge one.
Dao means
Knife.
Okay.
Knife. So under the pillow. So as a child I simply asked, why you're keeping this thing. So that time she just explained that if there is any bad evil spirit, then which they come to disturb you, and I want to chase them away with this. But only after growing up we come to understand that a young mother with children in a totally unknown place where she does not know anybody, taking care of children all alone, and sleeping in the outside because we cannot tolerate the heat inside a hot oven like building houses in hot Indian summer temperatures above 40. So the way she has done all those things, and now we understand what all she has gone through mentally and all that, and she could teach herself lots of skills to do small things, and do a lot of stitching, knitting, sewing, so many things, so that she could earn, not only depend on my father, but also earn herself and then take care of us like that. And later on, when we grew up, my father got retired, and he started this Boni laboratory clinic. That was the first private laboratory in Manipur, clinical laboratory, that is which was doing tests for blood and urine and other things like that. So that was the first one. My father started it in near that RIMS casualty gate. It was by the name Boni Clinical Laboratory, after my sister. So when he started that, my mother was doing classes, sewing classes, teaching young girls how to sew on a machine and make school dresses and all those things. She was doing working heavily like that, and then she was also assisting my father as a assistant technician, preparing all the test materials, all the blood, urine samples, everything, preparing them for my father to do the test and all that. So there was no job which she could not learn and she could not do, and she could not perfect in if she wanted. So this is something very this thing, and I really appreciate. And Thagatchari.
That is so nice of you to share.
Yeah.
So this is a card for you,
Right.
to write to your mother. And yeah, You don't have to write right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
so much.
yeah. So for the personal nomination, we are giving one of these cards so that
Yes.
you will have the opportunity to write it and actually say Thagatchari, because I think in our society, even my mom, I appreciate her so much, and I'm hoping that today I'll get an opportunity to do Thagatchari for her. So, yeah. And we can now proceed for the nomination at the level of Manipur.
Manipur, there's not much choice there, because Dr. Palin, I'll have to say, otherwise I must say Thagatchari to him, because he has been such a great inspiration, colleague, brother, everything. So Thagatchari to Tamu Palin. He's also my brother-in-law, because he married my sister, elder sister, Dr. Bonnie. So today I am here because of him, and it's a very interesting story. I'll tell you. It was in 1988-89, somewhere there. We were in this clinic in Shija clinic in Rims Road, and Tamu Palin was a surgeon at that time. He was in the plastic surgery department in Rims, and we were doing this clinic in Shija clinic together. And we were there. I was in the clinic, and I was also trying to get my post-graduation seat for further studies after my MBBS. So we were there together, and after that I went for my further studies to Kerala in Calicut, and did my surgery post-graduation over there. So it was during that time when, after finishing the post-graduation course, then naturally the next question is, what next? What do I do next? So it was a discussion. I used to call up my sister and my brother-in-law, that is Dr. Palin, what to do, because at that time I was getting offers for job in Kerala, in Dubai, and other places, and so one evening I was talking to him on the phone, and he said, yes, you can work there, you can go anywhere, but if you go and work anywhere else, you can become probably a tail of a tiger. But if you come back and work here, probably you may become the face of a cat. So that really caught me. I was thinking, and that night I didn't sleep after hearing him say that.
So how did he say in Mathilan?
Adasum Tauragadi, Mapanda Thavak Tauragadi, Matam Queen Changagasu, Kaigi Mamaidi or Pia. Adubu Yumda Halaga, Swadasum Tavakara Tauragadi. Hodungi Mama Hodi Uriya. I don't know. After that, I decided to come back and then continue, and then we have worked here and continued to work together. And here we are now at this moment. I don't know how long or my at least was able to serve the people here, and also to see what we could personally and as an organization do something about healthcare of the region, and work in all ways to how to improve these things and situations. Yeah. So I think I owe a lot to him. I should say thank you to Tamupalin.
All right. Yeah, that's an awesome nomination. Yeah.
Actually, it's true. It's both ways. Actually, it is a close person also, and also a person in Manipur also, because he's a figure in Manipur, at least because of the way he has led himself and the organization and the thing. That definitely I should say that he is one of the persons who has brought Manipur to the world map.
Yes,
made it possible for people to see Manipur as a healthcare destination. So I think that way he's I should say gratitude to him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So generally, for the nomination of Manipur, we would give the card. But since you are here, I think it would make it more special for you to give it. So I'm going to give this to you for
Thank you.
Your nomination at the level of Manipur.
Thank you. I'll do that.
All right. Now to the global level.
Oh, that's a difficult one. So many, but which has really struck and which keeps me in perspective, I would say Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle. After reading his book on the power of now, and that has really, so I must pay my gratitude to him, because that has really made life quite simple and very easy in all so many ways. So for the first time, after reading his book and going through his thoughts, of course it's not that it was not known earlier, or it was not discussed earlier, but because of the way he presented and the way he has expressed it, it became very easy for people like me to understand and then to also practice it. And so it is, I really appreciate his way of thinking and thoughts, and it's really nice. He says the power of now, which is simply explaining time is not on a linear scale. It is not about going from one place to another. It is a point, or it is a vertical. It is now. Everything is only now. And suddenly it became, yes, it is. Why now? It is only now. There's nothing else. There was no past. There's no future. Past is already gone, which will never come back again. Future has never come, and it will never come. Future is something which we are only imagining things, and so it is only the now, and now is the only point where we can do, and now is the point where we have to grasp things, and we have to it becomes quite so simple and so vivid and so clear. So and then makes life very simple after that. So I really appreciate him, and this thought and thinking I try to practice a lot, and definitely it has given me a lot.
So when you find yourself, pondering on the past or the future, you catch yourself and you bring it to the now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
the awareness becomes more stronger.
Yeah, so with regular practice now, it has become very easy for me to catch myself on those moments.
Right.
So it can happen because we are in a profession where there is lots of patients with lots of difficulties, and whom we have treated and who are not getting well, or this is at the professional level. So this we are encountering in so many different ways such situations, and these things can lead us to such a situation where if the way of thinking of the power of now is not applied, then it becomes very difficult.
Right.
Yeah, so I may not get any sleep if that happens, but that is not the case now, and gives me quite a lot of solace, ease, and I think that shows in the way I work as well as in the interactions with people as well, and also because when I know that now is the only thing that I have, and I want to make full use of that, and my mind is not allowing myself to stray away anywhere. I want to capture that moment and make full use of it, and be of benefit to myself, to everybody else. So there's no time to think anything else.
Right.
I want to be there and do it. So that was actually a very big inspiration for me to start with palliative care also, because we could have, after knowing about it and then after learning about it, we could have discussed so many other issues, how it will be working, what will be done, how we can go about it, and it can go on and on. But because of that, this attitude that I had developed after reading him and knowing him, the power of now. Now is the now. We have to do it. Means we should do it. Start. Let us do. Let us get away. Move.
And
come on.
Everything will fall into places.
Yes.
Right.
And it happened, and it is going well. I'm very happy about that. So, and it is moving forward like that. We didn't look back anyway. I didn't at one moment think how we are going to land up or what is going to happen, and see now how it has developed because of palliative care. I'm meeting Uja, I'm meeting you, and we are together sitting and discussing things and working out how you are working for this contribution with your paintings, with your cards, with all your propagation through the media. It's really wonderful. I wouldn't have had these opportunities and the benefits if I had not we had not decided that let us go forward and get these things done.
Yeah, and not be bogged down in how are we going to do it. You know, how should we plan it?
Right.
I definitely
So many all the intricacies, if we keep trying to analyze and then do it, then it wouldn't have happened. So, and this, the way of doing this has come to me because of the thinking in the power of now, and that has come from Eckhart Tolle. So my gratitude to him.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Because in every session we learn, like, you know, what you are inspired about, and you know, we can look up and we learn more from that.
Yeah.
So before we end the session, is there any other thing you want to share? This
is something which has been really in my mind for the past few days, is about climate change, which was brought to my notice in a very stark way by Greta Thunberg and her speech in the European Parliament, EU this thing meeting, where she had spoken. Just a 15-16-year-old girl talking about the world, which is so much careless and not thinking about the future of their own children, and she has put the blame rightfully on the adults who have not done adequately. And this also coincides with my thinking of the power of now, where you have to do rather than keep discussing, and that is what exactly she is also saying. There's no time to think now. There's no time to discuss. We have to do and act, and I don't know. I am learning all these things new in the very recent past, in a few days only, but it is disturbing the sense that we have to do a lot and work a lot to prevent that particular event which will destroy planet Earth and make it totally inhabitable for life. And as the scientists are pointing out, that it is not going to be very far away if whatever humans are doing is continuing for another the way. So 2030 has been given a target. Until then, if the human race does not reverse or do something of good effect, which will reverse this situation, then from 2030 onwards, it is as they described, like trying to catch a rolling ball of ice from the mountain top, and we cannot chase. It will keep on falling away. The earth will keep on falling away, and so it is there on my mind, and I want to know more about it, learn more about it, tell people more about it, and what each one can do, and how we can be effective on this planet now, so that our children and the generations coming after us can benefit from the beautiful planet that we have. So climate change is something I would like to make people aware of, and all the problems. Today itself, see, we are sensing a lot of heat, and Manipur for the first time has recorded temperatures above 40 so very often, and the maximum summer has not yet come. So this is something frightful, because they are saying that hundreds of species on Earth are going to vanish within the next 10 years. And one report 1 week ago said that nearly 2,400 Bengal tigers in Sundarbans is going to vanish in the next 10 years. So
we all have to pick up our responsibility and go for the little things we can contribute in making it better.
And really understand exactly what are the steps that we as humans can take now to prevent the rapid degradation of the earth. What if I tell something about the scientific background? What the scientists, the climate scientists are very much worried about is there is a lot of methane which is trapped in the Arctic belt under the permafrost, that is the soil which is frozen over millions of years. So there's a lot of methane gas by the decaying of life, that is animals and plants and other things which are decaying within the soil and which are there trapped. But because of the heating, this permafrost is now thawing, and all this methane will be released. And methane, it seems, is nearly 100 times more potent to trap sunlight and cause heating of the earth. So everybody is saying that this release of methane gas from this trapped permafrost, from the permafrost, is going to happen within the next decade, and probably just beyond that. So if that happens, then we are looking at some climate which is intangible for life within the next 15 to 20 years. And that I can see like that over there. Yes. It's interesting in a way that it may be contradicting my talk just previous about the power of now. And now I'm talking about that. But it's not that. It's the power of now gives us the way of thinking as to what we should do now.
You're right. I think the power of now, the way I interpret myself is, for example, you know, a lot of people, even though they are physically present, their mind is elsewhere.
Exactly.
Right? And so it's more of the awareness of living in the now.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
So
Very true. Yeah.
all right, so thank you so much for
Thank you so
sharing
much.
your thoughts.
Thank you so
and
much for giving me this opportunity.
this is a card from me to thank you for participating in our show.
Thank you.
And of course, as always, really thankful for all your initiative and for palliative care, which is very much needed in Manipur.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution in so many ways, and I will always remember Oja, your mother, for her energy, her enthusiasm, her efforts as a volunteer, and all of us are really charged when she's around. If she can be so positive in everything, then we have no excuses whatsoever.
Yes,
So
yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.